So President Biden issues a vaccine mandate across the country requiring employers of a certain size to have all their employees vaccinated. Republican governors threaten to sue over it. What do I have to say to that? Go Joe Biden. Let's talk about it in today's video.
Have at it. Look, I am so disappointed that particularly some Republican governors have been so cavalier with the health of these kids.
Hi, I'm Mike Reiner. I'm a lifelong Democratic activist who's concerned about the direction our country is taking. If you share my concerns, maybe you could like this video and subscribe to this channel, maybe even click that little bell that will notify you when I post something new. So you just saw Joe Biden talking at his announcement of the new vaccine mandate that the Department of Labor will be issuing through the Occupational Safety and Health Administration, also known as OSHA. This mandate should affect about 2/3 of all employees across the country, according to certain estimates, and could well have a major impact on getting people to get vaccinated. Interestingly, traditional Republican groups that lobby on behalf of businesses, such as the Business Roundtable and the Chamber of Commerce, tend to favor this mandate. Reason being that business knows not being vaccinated is bad for business. Just ask Delta Airline, which is basically instituting a financial penalty on its employees who are not vaccinated, or United Airlines, or even Fox News. Get that? I guess we know then that Tucker Carlson has been vaccinated, right? But as usual, we're going to hear the usual complaints of, oh, we don't want to get people too upset. We need to encourage them to get the vaccines. We don't want to force them or mandate them. It's only going to politicize this further. And my answer to that is too late. They're mad no matter what you do. They accuse us of things even if that we don't do. They accuse us of taking their guns even when no guns have been taken. The only solution to this is actually to do the right thing. And the right thing in this case is to mandate the vaccines. It's not just the right thing in terms of public policy, because after all, more and more research is showing that the vaccines really work. As it turns out, unvaccinated Americans are 11 times as likely as vaccinated Americans to die of COVID-19. And a big part of the reason that the Delta variant has been continuing to ravage parts of the country are because of the number of unvaccinated people. And you can see that because the higher rates of infection are directly related to the amount of people who've been vaccinated in that state. And simply encouraging people is only going to get you so far. You need to look at the example of cigarettes as a way to show how to finally get people to change their behavior. Cigarette smoking, as you know now, is done by less than 15% of the population of Americans, a huge drop over the last 30 to 40 years. Research has shown that the reason people stop smoking is not because of those little labels that they have on the cigarette packages and the ads, or the lack of cigarette advertising, or the ad council ads that try to make smoking appear uncool. No, what the research shows is that the reason people have stopped smoking is because it's been made inconvenient and expensive. Cigarette taxes have made it a very expensive habit. And people having to smoke outside, even in the cold or the boiling hot, even when they go out to the bars or the clubs, has made it incredibly inconvenient. You're missing out on things if you smoke. And so more and more people are saying it's not worth it. And that's what's going to change people's opinion. Now, I've long thought that the way this problem is ultimately going to be solved with COVID was when employers started mandating vaccines. After all, if your employer tells you to do it, what are you going to do? That's what makes this latest move by Biden such a brilliant move. After all, many employers might be nervous about requiring their employees to get vaccinated. But now they can simply point at the order from the federal government and say, hey, we're being made to do it. Tough luck if you don't like it. That's why business lobbying organizations are in favor of this order. But what's more is this order is simply good politics. Polling has shown that in many swing states, as much as 2/3 of the people favor vaccine mandates. Why? Because responsible people, the people who vote, have mostly gotten vaccinated. And we're afraid of what's going to happen to our country if we allow these people to run roughshod over the rest of us. The people who are refusing to get vaccinated are a minority, now appearing to be less than 30% of the population. And yet, they are threatening the recovery for the rest of us. They're threatening our health, they're threatening our economics, and they're threatening the well-being of our children. On a personal basis, I can tell you that my wife the other day told me that the rise in cases here in Michigan might actually be threatening the continuation of the school year here. I was furious. You have to understand, we've got a 6-year-old grandson who experienced a good portion of his kindergarten year virtually. Children that age don't learn virtually. They learn by playing with each other and communicating with teachers. Children at this age love school. They love to learn. They love learning from their peers and playing with them. And I was really shocked at one point after my grandson had to do a virtual session of school that he said to me about how much he hated school. That is really disturbing. Aside from the burden that placed on my wife and I, who had to watch him because our daughter had to work. And we're one of the lucky ones. I had a job where I could basically work from home. My wife is retired, and our daughter has us nearby able to help. Many families don't have those advantages. Nevertheless, the time that my grandson spent out of school is time that's never going to be recovered. And again, we're in a family of educators where we actually could help him. There are other families where the parents don't know what to do in terms of education. And families such as that have been severely hurt by these closures of schools. Not to mention now that at the urging of Republicans, many of the extended benefits from the COVID relief package have ended, such as the extended unemployment benefits. As a result, if the economy starts to shut down now again, there's not going to be that same safety net there to protect people. People should be really nervous of what's going to happen if, as a result of this virus increasing, the economy starts to shut down again. And guess what? Parents, grandparents, and responsible people who have gotten the vaccine are afraid of what's going to happen as a result of it. And they want something done. The vast majority of us who went and got the vaccine as soon as we could because we knew how important it was to our families and to our communities are going to cheer Joe Biden for standing up to the temper tantrum of this small minority who are basically putting their own selfish desires ahead of the health and well-being of Americans as a whole. Well, if you agree with me or disagree with me, I'd love to hear comments down below. And if you could like this video and maybe subscribe to this channel, that'd be a huge help. I'll see you in the next video. In the meantime, let's hope for continued progress. Thank you.